today, boy, what a matchup. Two NFL franchises with so much history, so much tradition, getting set to do battle here. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. And this is picked up by the Bears. Touchdown, Chicago. Well, how's that for an early storyline? Some people are asking the ushers where they're... seat is, and boom, we've got a score on the board, a fumble return on the opening kickoff.
And this is where all the tailgating groups are looking at each other saying, maybe we need to get to the stadium just a little bit earlier next time.
But man, those bratwursts, they're good, Charles. They're good. Extra point up and good by Dicker. And that makes the score 7-0. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Nice little juke. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. And at quarterback from the University of Oregon, it's Justin Herbert.
I like this guy. And the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
The numbers for him from a week ago, 18 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown.
And their success running the ball in the previous game has to give them a lot of confidence, but they also understand going against a top-5 rush defense means you have to have a lot of offense in your game plan. Misdirection, counters, power game, maybe even some quarterback run to take the heat off of the running back.
And incomplete. You look at this Bears defense. They've been very good this year against the pass, currently holding on to a top 10 ranking at number 10.
The secondary really developed into one of the strengths of this team. They diagnose, they cover, they run, they hit. What a nice team.
Nowhere to go for Herbert, and he's going to go down. Well, now comes the... Cowboys punter. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Here comes Carter. So a good punt there, but a nice return at 11 yards. And the Bears take over. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And a look here at the veteran under center. They're 7. Your quarterback.
You enjoyed watching that game tape, didn't you?
Yeah,
Last week's game.
It was good. 4 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Now, you were a little upset about the pick. I didn't know if you would play him this week or not if you were the head coach.
Hey, they got the win.
You got the win, so you're going to give him another chance?
I'm going to give him another shot.
All right, I think the ratio's pretty good. He'll try to eliminate the interception. He wants to keep that hot streak going, throwing touchdown passes.
And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46. When he runs, he seems to do a nice job of knowing when to be patient and find the hole, and then when the hole is there, he goes quickly.
You're exactly right. He knows how to just take off, but you know what else? Brings a little thump with him, doesn't he?
He does.
He packs the boom at the end of the run and finishes it going forward. That's what you want to see out of your backs.
And he goes down, but not before getting us inside the 25. There's another first down as they bite off 23 more on that one.
First down, Chicago.
Up the middle they go. Stacked him. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The Bears at 9-5 now on the year. They coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
Looking to throw is Williams. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Wade. That's good for a first down, his 2nd catch of the opening drive. Counting down toward the midway point in quarter 1.
First down, Bears.
On first down, Stockton. And he's able to break through 1 tackle, but it slowed him down enough that he could only manage getting back to the line of scrimmage. Here's 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10 at the Cowboys' 13-yard line.
To the air, Williams. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line.
7-yard gain on the play.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Williams from the gun on 3rd down. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. A great play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Bears go up by 2 touchdowns. Extra point up and good by Dicker. And that'll make the score 14-0. Here's Dicker now as he'll send this one away. And a decent return out to 27-yard line. Dallas offense set for this next drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. Herbert. Oh, the ball comes out on the hip, but they'll say it's incomplete. CeeDee Lamb is intended target. And now it's 2nd down. You look at this Bears defense. They are number 2 in the NFL against the run right now, Charles.
They've established themselves pretty well throughout this season. But, boy, what a competitive group of people. They do not like that ranking they have now because they think that they're better, and they're out to prove it again in this game.
Oh, he dropped it. Looking for him in the middle 3rd. He couldn't catch it. Now 3rd down. Maybe just a lack of concentration there as he couldn't haul it in.
And when you're going across the middle like that, you know, he's running that drag route, you are conscious of all the bodies and the traffic in there. But let's face it, if you're going there, you might as well come down with the football and absorb whatever else happens after that.
And that is incomplete.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talk about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
On the return, Carter. Now a hit and a loose football. It's picked up by the Cowboys. And this is going to be brought back for a final return touchdown by the Cowboys. kicks away following that fumble return. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive.
Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And he is going to get this one back to the 20-yard line.
Boy, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes you're fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes, those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
Second and a couple.
On the ground, it's Maffa. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. It'll be a gain of 2 on the play, but they'll remain a few inches short here with third down looming.
And this is why aggressive defensive coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line.
So on fourth down, out is Brandon Aubrey for the Cowboy field goal.
From the left hash, a chip shot here. And his kick is indeed good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10.
So the interception set him up a terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points. That's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
At their own 21-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive because remember last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 2nd and 3 forthcoming.
Off the play fake, it's Williams.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
Donovan Ezeraku
In there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
And it's third down.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And absolutely zero surprise that one was incomplete. Huh? I mean, it was truthful. How many OCs have we seen with 3rd and 20 on their play sheet and go, oh, I've got the exact play to dial up?
Now, that's just a head scratching down when you're facing a 3rd and 20. Tried to complete it, couldn't get it done. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10.
They'll run here with Maffa.
And he stopped immediately there. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
When you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, You enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Looking to put a drive together. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
To throw, Williams. He finds his man, complete. It's Wade. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. Throwing is Williams. He finds his man, complete. It's Wade. No move to get the offense off the field. They're going on 4th and 5. They'll go. Here's Williams. And he is caught. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 4th down conversion plays, you usually think 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe 10. Not there. What a huge pickup as the Sticks make a drastic shift forward. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. A nice little screen. They get 6 on first down.
Good call there on first down. And Brandon, I'm getting better on these and not screaming out, screen, screen, screen with my defensive training. They want to keep those pass rushers honest, and they did so there, and they wind up picking up positive yardage.
Now a handoff up the middle. Stockton. Still a couple yards short of the first as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
On 3rd down, Stockton. Well, that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards.
A loss of a yard. Brings up
on 4th down, here's Williams. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. As we eke closer and closer to intermission, Charles, remember last time out they punted. They would love to get points here, especially if this is going to be their final possession of the first half.
Yeah, and this is what close games feel like, because the pressure is on both sides, but sometimes the pressure is a little bit higher on the team with the slight edge, because they're trying to hold on to that, trying to increase it. Let's see how this one continues.
Nowhere to go for Herbert, and he's going to go down. Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. Now Charles dealing with a 3rd and long. They'll have to try to go back to the air again, and this time avoid the sack.
Certainly hard to try to establish momentum when all you're doing is going backwards, not protecting the passer, and he gets dumped on his backside.
Got an open man. It's McLeod. And he'll be out right at the 35. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. Taking it about the 16. call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over.
Play action. Now Williams.
Going down the middle, and it's complete.
Still on his feet. And he's going to be out of bounds inside the 25-yard line. Another catch for him there, and the numbers starting to stack up a bit. He's closing in already on a 100-yard game. We're still in the first half.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone.
To throw, it's Williams.
And he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo.
Here's Williams.
Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
From the shotgun, a throw for Williams. Now he'll tuck this and run.
And he's got it. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. From 10 yards out.
And the Bears will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point up and good by Dicker.
And that makes it a 21-10 game.
Cowboys 10.
So that drive of 3 plays, and it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago.
Now after the Dicker field goal, he's back out ready to send it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. And the Cowboys going to go on offense one final time in this first half.
And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. He finds his man, complete. It's Sharp. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half.
From the 35, back to work on 2nd and 4. Herbert now. Over the middle, hauled in by Lamb.
The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now.
So as they talk it over, we step aside.
First down. 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Now Herbert with it, looking to pass.
And he'll go right back to Lamb.
Now with signal and a timeout call, as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
So on 2nd down, the field goal unit is on here as they try to get 3 before half.
A 61-yard attempt.
And that is no good. Hit it well from distance. distance, but he couldn't work it back in. And they will remain 2 scores down as the difference holds at 11. A final shot before break. Williams. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. So that PI call will give him one more play.
And it'll be an untimed play as well. Now the half will end after this one, unless there's another defensive penalty.
Cameron Dicker on now to try the field goal.
And his kick here is good. And that will do it for this first half.
So, all right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter.
And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
So here's the Bears offense now as they get set to start this third quarter.
As this offense takes the field to begin the opening drive of the second half, Charles, remember that first half, good through the air and really all around an outstanding offensive performance.
Absolutely. They reached the end zone several times. The passing game working awfully well, and most importantly, partner.
Yeah, they went into the tunnel with a lead. They come back out with that lead.
Absolutely. NFL coaches, we know they're perfectionists in a lot of ways, but they had to like what they saw in that first half.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
On play action, here's Williams. But the man is connect, the tight end. 18 more yards there and another first down.
Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
They'll run on first down. Stockton.
And this defense not ready for that one as he'll take this down inside the 25. 55 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Would you say this offense is locked in right now?
They're having no trouble on this drive. What is it, 3 plays, 3 first downs?
Yeah, you talk about on the march. They keep this up, they get to the end zone real fast.
Now the first carry here for the running back. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26.
And now we're going to get a stoppage. A member of the Cowboys shaken up. But not what you want to see this late in the season. Medical staff is going to check on him, and we'll step aside for a moment.
Up the middle they go. Stockton. A strong broken tackle on that one. And then they get him to the ground just shy of the 15. A nice job there as he rumbles for 9. And it'll be back to a 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown.
Colston Loveland.
Halfway to 100 now with career touchdown number 50.
And the Bears take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Extra point up and good by Dicker.
And the lead now to 3 touchdowns in 21.
Dicker to kick off.
So after the touchdown, here's Dicker out to kick this one off. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 38. Now it's Herbert. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Good work after the catch, gets him 15 and a first down.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Now a 2nd and 10.
Here's Herbert. And he comes back with one complete. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. Good yardage after the catch as that play good for 30 and a first.
And this offense needed something to try and seize the momentum a little bit. That might have been exactly what they needed. Now they have a chance to go downfield and score and cut into the lead.
Herbert back to the air. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. From 17 yards out.
And the Cowboys are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. Aubrey good with the PAT.
And the lead will be cut down to 14.
17.
A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And not much happening on the return as they'll get this to about the 23. The Chicago offense set to get started. Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10.
Looking to put a drive together. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Always unfortunate to see an injury, especially this close to the end of the regular season. We'll step aside. From the 28, it's Second and 5.
They'll try the left side. Amos. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
And he's got his man in stride, complete.
And he will have the Bears 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And with the yardage picked up on that last throw, that's going to move him over 4,000 yards passing for the season. And even in today's age of offense, that's a number that's meaningful to quarterbacks. It's not an easy plateau to get to.
On 1st down, Amos.
And he lunges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it. It's 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 79 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 46. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Offense is moving a little bit out and back on their heels, but they're in a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
2nd and 10.
Operating from the gun, Williams. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
Able to find the open man. That's complete.
And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. Well, so much for the 1st down.
And they could have, would have, should have had a 1st down, but my English teacher's not going to be happy with this one. They did not.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive.
Working out of the gun, Williams.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Here comes the Bears punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And that one came close to hitting the big scoreboard up there as the fair catch is made inside the 20-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
That's good for a Cowboys.
And they're not not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Cowboys in possession of the football, but they trail here as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Hands it off out of the gun. And some room to work. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Another big play as they get 28 out of that one.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Set. Set. Go.
Here's Herbert. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's 2nd and a yard.
The 28-yard line.
Back to throw here, Herbert. And he's got the hook up to McLeod. And he is into the end zone for the Cowboys. Touchdown. A great effort there. 27 yards. And the Cowboys have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth.
The Cowboys.
They'll have Herbert try and throw for it. And that's caught at the 2. And he will get into the end zone to cut the deficit down to 4. So they go with a pass, and it works there on the two-point try. Charles, just in general, what are your thoughts passing versus running on two-point conversion? Situational?
It is situational. You have to know your team. What is your strength? Because so many people think you have to throw the ball in two-point conversion. But the stats will tell you that running it is about as proficient. So know your team and go to your strength.
And the Bears offense and Caleb Williams set to go to work once more. And this defense might... about wanting to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. This game has really flipped on its head. 2 unanswered touchdowns by the other side, and now they take over here with just a very slim one-score lead.
We've seen this how many times. Teams get a big lead, they go into coast mode, and all of a sudden they're scrambling and battling for a win down the stretch. They've got to put something together right here, otherwise they're in danger of doing the old snatching defeat from the jump.
Oh, a heck of an effort there as he'll make the diving catch.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Fourth quarter, you've got the lead. You have to stay in bounds and run that clock. Coaches, that'll drive them crazy.
Sacrifice a yard or 2 if you have to. Just go down, inbounds, keep that clock going. It's almost like he was caring more about his fantasy stats than it was about winning the game, and that has to drive a coach crazy.
There's a short one caught by Loveland. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And that'll leave him with a 3rd and just a yard.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives him a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
On 3rd down, Stockton calling no gain that time. They're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Looking to throw is Williams. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th. So the drive will indeed continue. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. And he'll go down at the 28. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3 at the Cowboys' 28-yard line.
And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And this one is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time.
56-yard.
And that will wind up just short. He had it on line. It ran out of gas at the end. And this will stay a 1-score game as the lead will hold at 6. But things just got interesting. They try for the long field goal there to salt this one away. They don't get it, and now a little time for the other guys to mount a late drive.
Well, they thought their kicker would put it through the post and finish this one off. I'm sure they discussed Pooch punting it and letting their defense take over. Well, the defense now has to make it stand up, but they didn't get the best field position because the ball comes back to the line of scrimmage.
And the Cowboys first down. 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. Herbert able to hit his target land. And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30.
Let's just put it on the table real quick here. This is 2-minute drill. You got to know they're looking for their number 1 receiver.
Yeah, you think they'd be ready for that time. They weren't. Herbert. This is Reese on the ground. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. And now all of a sudden the shoe's kind of on the other foot. Maybe you pull the reins back here a bit?
Yeah, a little bit because you got to make sure that you don't score too quickly.
Here's 1st and 10. The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. Here's 1st down. Herbert. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. They took their shot from the end zone, almost cost them.
And he made the right play there, knocking it away. But, boy, it looked like he had a chance to come down with the football. And if he does that, this thing is over. Instead, he leaves him out there with another chance.
Herbert going to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it. And that'll fall incomplete. This defense has watched their lead dwindle away. This is where they really need to bow up. They executed well there.
And it's often hard after you've played really well early and then you kind of relax a little bit to step on the gas again. They just did it on the last play. Looks like they want to finish this one off.
And now a tough spot here. This is 3rd and 10. Throwing, Herbert.
And did he get the feet down? Yes, touchdown. Touchdown.
And the Cowboys are an extra point away from going back on top here in the 4th.
A very important extra point there, up and good. And that is going to put them on top by a point, and it sets us up for quite a finish.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. The Bears offense and their big play wideout getting ready to get back to work. And he's had some kind of game. They made it a point to get him involved early, and it has paid giant rewards to this stage of the game. This is 1st and 10.
They'll look to throw.
Wow, and that is incomplete.
Take a deep breath because that's what they're doing down the field. Now that incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
Back to throw. He finds his man, complete. That's Wade. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield.
And now we're going to get a stoppage. A member of the Cowboys shaken up. Still plenty of time and the 2 timeouts. Here's 1st and 10 now.
He's back to throw. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. Gosh, given the time in the short game, would he have been better off just dropping that?
Yeah, when you look at the clock, you think so. But it's hard to get a receiver to drop a football. They're trained to catch everything.
Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in the 4th.
Second and 6 coming up.
He'll look to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
A 7-yard gain.
Final minute, 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10.
A gain of 7. First down, Bears.
From the gun, they'll try to run it. That's some strong running there as he's down just shy of the 20 on the edge of the red zone.
That's another Bears first down. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line.
Under 20 seconds now as the spike comes with 18 ticks remaining.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Not liking the look. They'll change the play.
On 2nd down, they'll run it here. And he's going to get this one down inside the 15.
Taken down at the 14-yard line. That's a gain of 7. Brings up 3rd.
Now here's a timeout as they will indeed call it with 5 seconds to go and a chance with a field goal to win the game. And now this game's going to come down to the right leg of their kicker. He's made one and he's missed one thus far. This for the win. And this one is right through. And it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. And you know, in an era of cost-cutting and maximizing your roster, this is a club that does not skimp on special teams, and in these situations, it pays dividends.
And that's great vision by the organization. When the difference between winning or losing depends on who you have kicking the ball, would you rather have a street free agent out there or a solid pro like this? Answer's pretty evident to me.